Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. Welcome to some VS Gaming. This evening we have got LeetPro Goliath Gaming going head-to-head in the new league, the new leg of the VS Gaming, and it is going to be brought to you by Jabba and the good old Skaapie himself on the other side of the mic. How have you been, Skaapie, besides the fact that it's pretty much like 1 centimeter cold outside?
Yeah, it is. It's coming into the millimeters cold out here. But yeah, it's pretty frosty. I've been good, and I'm even feeling better now, seeing that first bang coming out from LeetPro. What do you have to say about that, Jabba?
Well, I was telling the lads a little bit earlier in the lobby that they must pick techies for me. They ended up banning techies, so I'm not a happy chappy. I know
Yeah,
you
they thought they were
pretty.
playing all pick, that's why. And
Wow. No, they probably thought that I was on Goliath's team, and they thought, well, we better ban out the techies because Jabba's the best techies in SA, if I do say so myself. So the bans have started. It has been quite an interesting ban out here for LeetPro, opting to ban out the techies, maybe saying that techies deserves the ban. He is a hero that is worthy of a ban. Skaapie, what do you have to say about that?
I think
Because
it's
you keep telling me
it's
that he's a
BM.
non-hero.
I think it's just BM.
Maybe.
Because, yeah, Techies just doesn't deserve to be in this game.
Oh, come on.
Dota, in my opinion. And I think there's a lot of people that share that opinion with me.
What
Those
the
who
minority, the
don't,
the 1% of Dota players
no,
around the
no,
world?
the 1% of the people that actually play that piece of crap.
Enough of your trailing, boy. I'm going to try and power through this evening's series of Dota. I'm not feeling that great, so you probably hear that I'm a little bit nasal. I do apologize. So if you do hear a couple of sniffs or coughs here and there, do forgive me. But hopefully we can make this an enjoyable game, regardless of the fact. Talk to me about this opening here from Goliath.
I think Goliath has a opening we've seen quite a lot of. Warlock Sanking, a lot of magical damage, fatal bonds. Is super strong. Epicenter at Fatal Bonds is a very, very strong combination, as well as two very strong laners. So they have a very good cohesion from early game into about the late mid game. These two heroes, depends what position they're going to play the Sanking on. Pangolier first pick, I like that coming out from LeetPro. I'd like to see how that pans out. I can't say I've seen too many Pangoliers and how it works out, but the last time we cast LeetPro, which wasn't that long ago, their dual offlane was disgustingly good. It was it Whelp and Dowie? Yeah, now it's going to be ACG and Whelp, I think. So we'll see how that pans out for them.
This is their main roster, actually. That is a good point that you do bring up. The last game we casted, they did actually have a stand-in. Now it is actually the full strength of LeetPro's team going up against Goliath. We'll see how it pans out. But yes, they did definitely dominate the offlane. We'll see if they can actually put a stop to LeetPro's shenanigans with his Warlock and kicking pick. What does that kind of show for us? Do they want to maybe go for more of a split pushing lineup, LeetPro, now, considering that you've got a Warlock and a Sanking? Team fights are going to be really, really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, look, team fights are just not going to be in your favor. You've got Warlock, Golem, Sanking, Stun. And when you do pick a hero like Pangolier, you expect that hero to try and just catch individuals out by themselves. And they got Crystal Maiden, which is not a fantastic team fight hero. You don't often get an ultimate off for a long duration. It's a very sluggish hero, very slow. It's pretty much okay for the laning stage. I actually don't like Crystal Maiden in general. But obviously they have a plan. Also, Crystal Maiden can jungle, and I think they do have a bit of a greedy 4 or 5, so maybe that's what they're planning to do with that, but we'll see. And I think you're right. I think they're going to look to either split push the map out or at least try and keep these fights very far apart. They don't want to group up. They want to have a Pangolier who can dive very deep onto the other side, have a Crystal Maiden who's going to stand back and maybe try and create some space with her Q, slow things down a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how they draft into it. I don't think LP is going to change their draft just because of what Goliath Gaming have, though.
You bring up a good point before we carry on with the draft. Do you think teams in general do better if they stick with their draft that they plan beforehand, or do you think it kind of benefits teams to be a little bit reactive to what the opponents pick?
Look, it's still good to be reactive sometimes, but in general, it's usually just good to play it safe and or just build your draft as you had planned or something like that. But it seemed like LeetPro, they've got such diverse players that they actually, it doesn't matter to them. They actually don't necessarily always need to win the laning stage to really be a strong side. So I like what Goliath Gaming are doing here. They're saying, okay, we're going to see that's potentially a weakness that we can target. So they pick up an Undying, Sand King, Warlock, great laners. All three of them are fantastic in the laning stages. So that's going to make life a little bit difficult for LeetPro. Because Crystal Maiden's not a fantastic laner, very poor at harassing out lane. Has got one spell. So that's a bit of a problem there for LeetPro so far.
So pretty much what you're telling me is that Goliath is looking to dominate the early parts of the game. Basically win the laning phase, from there gain their momentum, and then just kind of like snowball out of control and try and get and catch LeetPro on the back foot.
Yeah, and I feel like LeetPro is just saying, what do you feel like playing? And we're going to play that, and we might lose our laning stages, but we more than likely going to pull it together in the late game. And we saw that the last time they played, and they had a stand-in who's not really it doesn't main Dota at that level anyway, and they still dominated the opposition, which is a pretty strong team. It was Epoch. So we'll see what they do here against Goliath. Goliath is quite strong, and they've been together now for quite some time. I haven't watched them play lately, so I don't know how they look currently, but I from my recollection, they are quite a strong team overall. And I mean, LeetPro, I don't think any words need to be added as to how good these individuals are. I mean, Depi, ACG, Welp, Dowie, RDK, these are names that have been in the scene for ages. They're just now looking for a bit of cohesion, maybe. That's about it.
Do you think it gets to the point where, like, I mean, I'm a very firm believer in team play. Definitely wins Dota games. But do you think player skill levels can like ever overcome the fact that you got to play as a team? For example, if you just take, say, the top players around the world and you make your dream team and you put them together in a single team, could you guarantee positive results? Or do you think you'd rather maybe take like okayish players that rather work well together?
Yeah, I mean, that's the recipe that every team's looking for, right?
The balance.
The best players around the world that can work together well. But I think in the SA scene currently, just because there's such a big divide between the top, let's say, 13 players and then the rest, it's usually the team with all the stars in their side are going to dominate just because they got that skill advantage. But as soon as they start playing tougher opposition overseas and things like that, we start to see where the weaknesses lie. And we've seen that throughout the years. Whenever we qualify for WESG, we see these flaws. And the problem really comes in is that these top players don't actually have opposition to practice against, and then they end up just sort of either playing trolly or they play against ridiculously weak teams and in comparison to what their skill is, and then they sort of just dominate those situations and they don't get enough practice in against tough opposition. So I think in the South African scene, it's fine to have all the stars, but when you start playing opposition that are equally matching you man for man, you have a bit of a problem.
Well, I do know that LeetPro is actually dipping their toes into the international scene as well, so they are definitely trying to get their exposure to the higher tier players around the world, which can only make them stronger. But let's move on from there. I want to talk about laning phases here for Goliath, because I see a potential aggressive try. Do you think it's going to be an aggressive try with Warlock, Sand King, and Undying? Lena potentially mid and looking for maybe a I suppose you can always just stick Sand King in the safe lane solo and go with an aggressive try, and they're looking for their position 1 for the side of Goliath.
I mean, they could try lane into RDK, but that won't be good for them. I think you stick with dual lanes here. You put Undying plus maybe Sand King and Warlock plus whatever core in lanes together, and you just try and dominate them that way. But as you can see, LeetPro's already got pretty strong situations. So Weaver makes up for all the flaws that Crystal Maiden has, and a Nyx Assassin and Pangolier are pretty strong together. Both incredibly tanky individuals, and the mid lane is just going to be a farm fest. So actually, LeetPro, I don't think their laning stage is going to go as poorly as I anticipated originally. They are, however, going into Undying, Sanking, Warlock. No matter what lanes they end up in, it's still not going to make life easy. But they do have pretty reasonable or decent answers for the issues that they're going to face.
Well, good news is, I suppose, Weaver with having a Lincoln's this game could be really good. If Lena decides to go into Yule's light strike array, the Lincolns can really be super helpful, as well as the Laguna Coil. If it's just a random Laguna Coil, the Weaver Lincolns can actually turn out to be quite a big item for her. I suppose the same goes on the side for Goliath. If Cotter picks up a Lincoln's for him as well, can also do really well. So we'll get into items and item choices a little bit later. You spoke about the laning phase for the side of Goliath. How do you think it's going to pan out for LeetPro before the game begins? I'm feeling like Whelp and Dowie are also going to be sitting in the off lane once again. Easy setups for that stun.
I don't know. They might leave RDK alone, but I think ACG Dowie are going to play lane together, and Whelp going to play greedy in the jungle while RDK farms, and then he's just in the general vicinity. So they're doing that sort of thing that Bravado used to do, where they just have that super greedy jungle support that's going to smoke and rotate every once in a while, and they never have vision on it. So it's going to be interesting to see how Goliath deal with that. I would like to see a nice early ward of theirs in the jungle, maybe try and scatter at what the Crystal Maiden's doing at all times. But you are right that Whelp can really quickly make a rotation down to the bot and set up a nice easy kill, get himself back to the top lane again, and RDK will survive all those situations. So I think the LeetPro's draft just looks really good.
I think that escapability from the Weaver is going to make it really tough for the side of Goliath to actually try and deal with that. They've only really got one lockdown to actually deal with the Weaver. So it is time of the game where we go around and introduce the players. We are here at the VS Gaming Masters Leg 3 of the tournament, and I am Jabba, joined by Skaapie. It is going to be LeetPro versus Goliath Gaming, with the LeetPro deciding to choose the Radiant. So without further ado, let's go around and introduce your players. We're going to have Deppy playing the Queen of Pain. She's going to be holding out that mid lane. Looking at the top lane, though, it looks like it's going to be RDK joined by his teammate Whelp on the Crystal Maiden. The bottom lane is going to comprise of Chadawi on the Nyx, and Pangolier is going to be played out by ACG. And that is going to be a wrap for the side of LeetPro.
Yeah, it looks like they put their off lane into the safe lane there, so that's an interesting point that we can acknowledge. But going on to the opposition side, Goliath Gaming, GG, going to be Cotter over here on the Morphling, Panda, 737 going to be playing on the Warlock, towards the mid lane, Muzzy going to be playing over here on that Lena, Mental over on the Undying, and last but not least, Waterboy. Who's Waterboy again?
That's why I left
they don't want to have their names.
That's why I left it up to you to introduce the side of Goliath, because I actually forgot. We were going through the names before the game actually started, and we were actually mentioning that we actually knew all the players, but for some reason I can't even think
this. Yeah. Oh, it's Jappa. Of course it's Jappa.
Of course it's Jappa. All right, there we go. Okay, so Mental still being able to snack up their bounty in there. That was unfortunately not being able to be snacked up there by RDK. And the game begins.
Yeah, 3 bounties still going the way of LeetPro, so they're pretty happy with that situation. And it seems like quick change up of the lanes. They're going to throw the Weaver down towards the bottom. So from what we thought was happening, they're going to switch that up a little bit, and ACG heading up towards the top. Really low on mana, did use out that swashbuckle a little bit early, in twice. So that's all right though. Mid lane, I think this matchup is actually again just going to should just be a farm fest.
Well, let's just have a look at bottom here, because there's a lot of pressure coming on to Panda 737. This is going to be a really easy kill. Going to try and leave it for RDK. He does get it. Chadawi low HP, but Cotter's not going to be able to actually get it as well. He's opted to go for his edgy strength change ability. An easy kill there for the side of LeetPro. I mean, it doesn't even warrant an excited blocked nose jabber.
Yeah, look at what Whelp was doing there. He just pulls out the camp, farms up the big creep for himself, and I thought he was actually trying to give it to ACG there for a moment. I think he did, and ACG just missed the last hit. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, that's going to be that greedy support that I spoke about. This Crystal Maiden, even though I was saying his weakness is in lane, but if it does get a lot of farm, it's still a pretty difficult hero to deal with. And it looks like you're right. They opted to actually go for a tri-lane, but not the one that we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they decided to leave Sand King alone, and they're actually going to have the Kotta, Panda 737, and Mummy to actually go up against RDK. And surprisingly, RDK is going up against the two of them here. It's still getting some good work done over here.
Yeah, and top lane they kill Jappa, and it's just one of those things that, right? They just ran him down. He couldn't do much. Now he doesn't have a support in lane. This is not a great situation. And we spoke about how their dual lanes, they always have a pretty strong dual lane, one way or the other. And then they will make, if they leave someone alone there, they make that person's life misery. And if they don't put pressure on RDK, then he's just going to farm up a storm. So it's always that small situation. It seems like Dowie's actually the one making the rotations around, and not that other Crystal Maiden, at least yet. Like I say, CM's going to play maybe a bit greedy and then look for those rotations a bit later. But I think they just realized they can find kills in the top lane, so they're not too bothered about it.
I think we also spoke a little bit earlier on how their heroes actually promoted early game aggression and early game dominance. All of a sudden, we see LeetPro with 2 kills ahead as well. So their draft not panning out or being played, I suppose, the way they wanted it to actually be played. But here we go, mid lane. Muzzy, going to maybe go down here. They actually do pop the Fury Fire, but it's not going to be good enough. And Deppy gets himself a kill in the mid lane, and Muzzy takes a dive.
Yeah, Muzzy's going to have a horrible time because Shadai's just sitting around there throwing out the mana burn, and that means he just has no mana to farm. He's losing a lot of health. Yes, maybe he's sapping a bit of XP, but if they can find a kill on Muzzy every once in a while, then Deppy's still ahead in XP. So things are just not going great. Rotation does come in from Panda 737, see if he can slow things down a little bit, but then you're creating space, and top lane they find a kill on Jappa again, and that goes into the pocket of Whelp, and this support CM is just getting a lot of gold, getting a lot out of his lane. It's because there's no dual lane against him. The reason why I said he's a weak lane is usually because there's dual lanes currently, and I don't think he's quite strong in this current patch. But if they're going to leave just these two alone up against the Sand King, then Sand King is just not going to have a great time. Doesn't have a point into Sandstorm to help escape. It's not a great situation.
That's right. Tell me, does Swishbuckle actually cancel out Sandstorm, or does it? Is it just more like a slow, or is it considered a stun?
It's no stun unless he has Bash, and it will cancel out Sandstorm. They don't have anything to cancel out Sandstorm. But I think as soon as they realize that he does have that, they should put sentries down in lane, and they'll get a D-ward if they do.
You'd expect with the classic finale to actually be able to put a little bit of pressure onto the Pangolier so that he can't actually farm. And Jappa just too scared to get close to those creeps, it looks like it.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Jappa needs to be very, very careful. And look at Shadawi. He's waiting around in the mid lane. Okay, Warlock's left. I'm going to go back and make life an absolute misery for Muzzy. Yep. He's just going to sap this mana away. Oh, he actually goes for the stun. But again, it's just terrible. It's a terrible situation. Top lane, though, ACG is quite low. And Jappa could maybe find a kill here. He does have stun in 2 seconds, but he's going to be too far away.
Oh, but 12 comes in, gets the frostbite off. Going to take quite a bit of damage here from the tower. He's taking a world of damage. In the meantime, bot lane, Kotovich does pick up a kill to RDK. But Jappa, he's potentially going to go down. One more right click coming out from Jadawi. Can get it. Oh, wow. That was almost a doozy there, but eventually Jadawi rocking up to the party just in time to bring down Jappa once again.
Yeah, that's just not a great situation for Jappa at all. He's got a bit of CS, but I mean, there's no reason for them to be happy about what the outcome is here. And Shadawi's just making great rotations around the map, making himself very present. Yes, they lost to RDK in the bot lane, so that's gave Kotta a little bit of a lead. And Kotta's in fact doing quite well which is maybe a bit of a small concern for them to keep an eye on. But other than that, they'll be happy with their movements around the map. Oh, and Haste now on CM. This should be a very dead Japper. Can't see him surviving this one.
Well, she runs to the top lane. There comes out the frostbite. Japper gets the bow strike forward. Can he make it out? Chidawi got the stun to end and sign off the deal. Japper thinking he was going to get through it, and ACG picks himself up. A beautiful little kill there.
Yeah,
well put
RDK
Haste.
needs to be very careful in this lane because the Undying just keeps on reducing his health pool quite a lot. And then I think that's how he died a little bit earlier. Kotza doesn't have many points up into waveform, but his right clicks are pretty potent. Got to be wary of that. But mid lane.
Have you noticed the CS coming out from RDK? He's actually still being outfarmed by the Sand King, even though he's having a little bit of a problem. But let's just have a look here in the mid lane. Panda 737 under a little bit of pressure. Does try and heal himself up. Can he survive through it? And no, he can't. While managing to seal the deal, getting the last right click off there. Panda 737 pays with his life. While Muzzy has actually been reduced to the fact of jumping into the jungle. While that all happens, RDK picks up the kill onto Mental.
You know, that shouldn't have happened. RDK solo in this lane finds himself a kill like that. That's bad for them. That's what I was just about to say. You touched on the fact that RDK is not finding farm, and they're fine with that. They realize, okay, they're putting a lot of pressure onto RDK, so we put pressure elsewhere on the map. RDK will find his way back pretty quickly from there.
Top lane though. Japper doesn't look like he's going to survive through this. Trying to find out at the time. Oh, wait. Lazo, but Bouldering Smash has actually come online, and it is going to be a killing spree for good old ACG. Turns around, gets the stun off onto poor old Mental. That is going to be a double kill here for the side of LeetPro, as Mental just came in to sacrifice himself. I suppose it was time to pay homage to the gods.
This is pretty awkward. What's happening here? As even Kotza, he gets left alone with RDK, and RDK just absolutely gives him misery. So, that's a costly situation for them here. And Kotza's actually going to go use the shrine up, and all of a sudden RDK's got space once again. And we'll see RDK catch up very quickly. He's queuing up for the Lincoln Sphere, so he's playing quite defensively. And they're probably not going to rely on this Weaver to be the aggressor for quite some time, because they got a hero like Pangolier, who's incredibly strong in this situation. He's going to get their Maelstrom up, and their Maelstrom is very strong on him, especially in this current patch.
Is the Maelstrom the new build? I know Basher was a big build on Pangolier, but mid lane though, blown up. Deppy just takes down Muzzy, using the Sonic Wave and all the good stuff that she brings. They look like they want to actually continue it out here. And Panda 737 not going to be survived through that. While giving the kill to Deppy there, while that all happening, they do lose good old Warlock in the top lane. Oh, no, I lie. Sorry, it was Jap in the top lane, the Sand King.
Yeah. So this was just a pretty big loss for them all around. Top lane died, 2 died mid. And, I mean, Morphling is still farming, I guess. Farming jungle. He's not really getting much done. And all of a sudden we got RDK catching right back up like we touched on. And once this Maelstrom's up on ACG, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble, because he's gonna be incredibly strong at that stage.
Badawi does walk into Japper. They decide not to actually throw any blows here. Walp picking it up, but RDK is in the vicinity. Is it going to be enough to bring down Mental? He's going to try and survive through it. No, it's not going to be good enough. The tome is still there. The light strike array misses Jabba. Use words.
That flew getting into your head there, Jobs.
It is. I do apologize, but we're going to power through it. We will power through it, I promise.
Yeah, Strong's on that one. And now we see Kotza is actually forced to TP towards the top lane for farm, because now there's pressure on him there. The score's 14-1, 6k net worth lead.
Oh, well, here we go. Kotza in a huge amount of trouble, trying to adapt the strength strength game. Why did I say edgy?
Strength edgy.
No, I'm basically trying to. Wow, okay, that was pretty huge. I'm so glad I stayed there, because I did not expect that.
Yeah, that's the power of the javelin. Just one javelin, you get those procs, those 100 magical damage procs. It's really strong, and once he's got the Maelstrom up, he's going to have that on hand. Looks like he's also going to be going for a hood. Fine, so which is going to be great for him. A lot of magical damage coming out. They got the Warlock, Sanking. We touched on that actually in the draft. Lots of magical damage on the side of Goliath. And if they're not going to be able to deal any magical damage, what are they really going to be doing this game? So.
White lane, the stun does come out into RDK. He's going to time-lapse it out. I don't think he's under a lot of pressure here. They do decide to throw out the decay, but doesn't have enough stacks for that to mean anything just at the moment. Although he can mental get off another couple of 2 decays. They're going to drop the tome. Could RDK be in a little bit of trouble here? In the meantime, Panda 737 does go down to Depi, but we're going to stay here. We're going to see what happens. RDK does Sakuchi out. Could he decide to actually make a play here? RDK playing rather aggressive, trying to see if he can actually still find out the sandstorm, and he's gonna rather just play a little bit safe. And well, when
I feel
say
like we
play
missed
it
something
safe,
super sick because they all just accepted Depi there for that kill. Wonder what he did. But oh boy, RDK.
He's still gonna look for the kill, and he does still get it. Still does get it with the Kotta in the vicinity. Now Jappa approaching as well. He's still HP, gonna try and TP out. RDK hadn't spotted him out, but there comes out Chadawi, comes to the bot lane. The stun's going to be good, faked it out, and now Kotta is going to go down. ACG picking himself up to kill, using the boulder smashes to get it off and possibly farm out this little camp over here. Jump into the mid lane rather quickly. Wild could be in a little bit of trouble here. Actually going to throw down the freezing field, and the Laguna Coil makes easy meat there of Whelp. Throws out the big ult there from Muzzy. Lights, the sun comes out from Muzzy, but misses the sun rays. As Depi says, I have had enough sun for one day, and gets himself out of there.
Yeah, that's good. So they killed Depi there, that would have been really good, but it just shows how far they are behind actually. They just don't have the damage to kill Depi at this current stage, and he doesn't have much. He's just sitting with treads and wand and
well, they don't even have the items, because I mean they don't have a lot of lockdown for Depi either. I mean Sanking's nowhere to be seen, so the lockdown for Depi, he's gonna have an absolutely fantastic game. I mean, even if he didn't pick up the Queen of Pain, Storm would have also been a fantastic hero this game. But Muzzy trying to find RDK in the bot lane, gonna time lapse himself out to safety, and Muzzy not finding the reward that he needs.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the story of this game, right? Goliath Gaming are just having a horrendous time. And, I mean, RDK, he's pretty close to finishing up his Lincolns. He's sitting third on the net worth charts, and we're talking about a guy who was left alone in lane. So, I mean, all of their cores, everyone is just more wealthy than their opposite number. So
well, they did find the kill on Mental. Good setup there from Tudawi. ACG mopping up the kill there, and diving tier 2s. Diving tier 2s, Skaapie. That's what LeetPro is doing. Diving tier 2s.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice situation for them. I mean, look over at Panda, right? He's begging to buy boots. That's all he wants. Depi's gonna find another kill. But I mean, their Warlock has literally got 0 net worth.
I'm the BM. Depi tips Muzzy. the BM. Oh, I love our boys. Oh, but Maelstrom's up on ACG, looking at the top, throws down the rock. But now we got Jappa coming involved. ACG using the rolling thunder, trying to get himself out of there. Is there going to be enough to bring down ACG? You do have 3 players plus the rock. Is it going to be enough? ACG actually decides to turning it around. Jappa is going to TP himself out of there. It's going to be good enough to get the Zanking out of there, but they looked at actually getting the kill on ACG. Didn't pan out the way they wanted. It wasted a lot of ultis on him. And ACG is going to make it out of there. Didn't commit Epi, so they still do have that online, I guess.
Oh, man. Panda's got shoes. He must be so happy. Only 60 minutes. Oh.
This is the stun. But while that's happening, another fight breaks out here below. Can they actually find the kill onto ACG? It's going to be good enough. And Kotta gets himself the kill. Oh, this Depi want to make a play here, but Kotta Gonna be gaining some strength here. Does have the shadow word out, keeping him healed. And now Chadawi, he's in a bit of a trouble. Pops the Spy Carapace, but Upheaval is not gonna allow him to get anywhere. And 2 kills going for the side of Goliath. Skaapie, they're not giving up, and they're gonna go down with not going down without a fight.
Yeah, that's some good gold for them, really, and what they pretty much need. But at the same time, RDK did some chip damage to the tier 3 tower, which is something that you got to be careful of. They can't overcommit and then lose some damage on the towers, because that could very, very quickly turn into a tower falling, shrines going down, and then you've lost all that hard work that you've attempted to throw together. Gets
Wow, the man of the people. Diving tier 2 is pretty much solo again to try and find Muzzy. Sandstorm is there.
As a Crystal Maiden.
I mean, like, no fear. Look at this, no fear. Goes in there, the sun does come out from Jap, but does find Whelp. Does cancel out the freezing field, but Chadawi does find the kill on Panda 737. Muzzy goes down from Chadawi, and Jappa gets the kill onto Whelp. Depi picks up the kill onto the Undying. Now they're now trying to get the return kill onto Jappa. They do. Connor needs to get himself out of there, but the boys from LeetPro don't want to give up. They want to dive it, and eventually they decide to actually pull out. So before you know it, 4 down for the side of Goliath Gaming, and LeetPro with a 15k net worth lead, just 17.5 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and ACG's got one of the most fun items on that hero, Blink Dagger. So you go into the rolling boulder, and you can just blink onto someone and stun them instantly from the tree line, which is super strong and super underrated. But I don't know how much of a tree line they're going to play with, because they've pushed this map out so far already, and they're in such a good position. Still a good item, though. Still a good item.
Closes the gaps, and then you don't actually see him coming. I suppose it's also really good. Like, sometimes you actually want to bounce between the cliffs, and sometimes you don't want to. So I suppose when you get jammed or caught into a situation like that, you actually just want to like, get yourself out of it before you actually get it timed out.
That was really quick by Cotter.
What was that?
They had a sentry there. They saw him. Alright. I was about to say that was incredibly quick, if that was a reaction time. But it was not. Oh, bot lane, the RDK's in trouble.
Ooh, Lincoln's for the win. Dodging that huge Laguna call coming out from Muzzy, and RDK is just going to be smiling all the way back to the mid lane, and he's going to continue to farm, and knows that Lena's ult is on cooldown for a while. Yeah,
so that's just a lot of space created. They found the tower, Depi finds the kill. Depi's dead though.
RDK's dead. RDK goes down in the mid lane to Connor, but Rolling Thunder is there on ACG. Is it enough to bring down Muzzy? It is! They do bring down Muzzy, but now Chadawi in the thick of it gets the stun off. Jappa trying to get out of there, but Depi rocks up to the party. Tone doing some work in the backgrounds while Whelp thrown down the Crystal Maiden ult. Is it enough to bring down Mental? They do. They find the kill onto Mental. ACG diving deep, looking for Connor. Does get Adapter striked. Now they're just looking at putting a little bit of chip damage on the tier 3. It could be enough. Only 2 heroes alive for the side of Goliath. Cotter and Panda 737. I don't think that is enough to make it to actually hold them back, as the guys from Goliath are going to be able to potentially take down a lane of Raxia. Oh, yeah, wait.
20,000 net worth difference. This is looking very, very bleak for Goliath Gaming. So they definitely need to rethink, but they are going up against what many might say is the toughest opposition, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Tournaments. So, I mean, they're at least going to take something out of this game.
Well,
sorry,
I mean, they are. They.
It was you.
What? What did you think was me?
No, I heard the Pangalia like saying something, and I thought it was you talking, because I'm just so not used to his voice, because I just haven't played Pangalia all that much.
Oh wow, okay. Well, I guess I have a Pangalia voice. I've actually muted my unit speech, so I actually don't get the.
Oh, what about those cheeky comments that the?
I do get chat wheels. I do get the chat wheels.
No, the cheeky comments from the heroes, like.
Nah, I don't get those.
Like Valve talking to you. That's
I like to run a professional ship, and it's very difficult to run a professional ship when I've got the heroes talking in the background. Like, I mean, my voice shouldn't be interrupted, Skaapie.
They don't mute the stadium when they do rugby.
But they do turn him all the way down.
True. It is quite soft.
Just don't walk off my studio, eh?
No, don't worry. But I mean, things here are looking a bit bleak. It's difficult to see a way for them to come back into this one. They are hanging in there. They haven't given up as of yet. 20 minutes in.
Oh,
look at this.
Oh wow,
look at this. It's disgusting.
Wow, okay, well, Muzzy goes down. Muzzy does buy back. ACG jumps and gets the kill onto Panda 7-3 7. Lincoln's popped out onto Queen of Pain. Yule's being used up onto ACG. Light Ray strike is going to be good enough, but Muzzy gets carapaced out. Nice stun coming out from Chadawi, holding Muzzy in place. Not going to be able to pick up a kill here on any of the LeetPro boys, but they did have to get the buyback coming out from Muzzy. And Warlock down for the count. Doesn't have the rock. So not a worthy buyback just yet. The epicenter is off cooldown, but short of mana. So you're gonna have to have Jappa back at base before he can actually engage on this fight. Cotta just holding the LeetPro team back, but a huge scream coming out from Deppy taking down Cotta. Easy peasy. Jumps in there, throws out the scream, throws out the sonic wave, and not much you can do for that.
Did you see that sick play from Chadawi when ACG was Eels? He ran to get stunned intentionally with Spike Carapace on so that he couldn't do any follow-up damage.
Hold that thought, but that is unbelievable because the Carapace comes out again. And Jappa pretty much jumping into his death. While that all happens, we do lose Muzzy on the sidelines. RDK doing a chunk of work. Mummy goes down. They're looking for Panda 737. And the boys from Goliath tap out 22 minutes into the game. And they can't take any more as they give game one to the boys at LeetPro, making it a relatively easy game for them, especially considering that we were expecting much more out of the laning phase for the side of Goliath.
Yeah, that was difficult. I think I felt like LeetPro had good answers for that sort of situation, so they did well there. And I gotta just say that LeetPro are looking really hot, and I don't know who's actually going to challenge them currently. And Goliath, I mean, it's very difficult to say how they performed here. This is going to be a difficult situation for them to really step up and show what they have. But maybe game two, maybe they have something else up their sleeve. We'll have to see.
Right. Well, I wish one day you'll actually call me hot, but I'll just have to wait in anticipation until that does happen. But until then, guys that are joining us in game and on stream, go grab yourself a quick drink. We're going to be heading into game two shortly, so we'll see you guys soon. Get the stream more involved. Skaapie, you need to leave. Skaapie. Skaapie. Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and DOTA players around the world. We're in game 2 of the Goliath Gaming and LeetPro team DOTA. This is part of the Leg 3 game. For those of you that are just joining us, this is game number 2. I am Jabba, joined by Skaapie. I don't know where you've been if you are just joining us now, because game 1 is done and dusted. LeetPro took Goliath to task in pretty much 23 minutes. Where we thought Goliath had a really strong opening in terms of early game aggression and really held the early game cards. So it turns out that LeetPro managing to put a nail in the coffin and ending it rather quickly. But we're in game 2, and what do you have to say about game 1 and maybe what we can expect to see or hope to see in game 2?
Well, I think in game 1 we can really just see what the strength of the dual lanes are, because Goliath Gaming were forced to put up a tri lane, and they weren't really getting all that much in all their lanes. Their supports were very poor. They weren't really collecting all the bounty runes. So it's a good display of what is really the meta currently, because LeetPro obviously they understand the meta very well, and they played very well. I think the dual lane, I criticized the CM when I saw the CM, but when I saw, okay, they actually have quite a strong dual lane, they're going to play it a little bit greedy. It paid off very well, and this time around they did ban the Pangolier. They don't want to deal with that again. There was a techies ban again, so maybe Goliath Gaming played techies, and LeetPro is like, we also don't want to accept that this is an actual hero in DOTA, so they just like, we'll ban it all the time because it's annoying.
Let's end this right now. Let's end this right now. I don't know how we're gonna end this. I don't know how we're gonna find an answer, but people that are in game, people that are on stream, somehow spam Skaapie and tell him that Techies is a hero. His Twitter handle is @SkaapieDota. Just spam him and say Techies is probably like a top tier, god tier hero.
Well, no one has jumped up and done anything.
I'm
sure of it. It's not going to happen, Jabba. People are not going to be like, oh my god, Techies is all of a sudden a fantastic hero.
He's always been a fantastic hero. Plus 251 damage.
Ah, man. Jabba. You know, fine. You can play that hero. I'll play my pubs. Stay away from me. I stay away from you.
I don't even joke. I played in a pub with Skaapie and I played at Techies. He actually left the game. He actually took low prior.
Yep.
He actually took low prior.
That is how I feel about it. I quit a game just the other day. I was playing a Europe game and a guy picked up a Techies and I was like, nah. I will much rather play low priority games than play one game with the or against the Techies. That's how I feel about it.
Guys, I don't know. I think we need to suicide Skaapie's house. I think that's what we need to do. Anyway, let's get into the game. LeetPro have a interesting opening here. Something really different. Lion, Omni Knight. Maybe they feel they want to try a little bit of a draft out here potentially, because these are two heroes that I don't often see the LeetPro pick up. For the side of Goliath, they've opted to go for the Doom Rubik opening. See if that turns out a little bit better for them. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does Doom go through Repel?
Yes.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
But does he take the damage? But if a hero gets doomed and Omni Knight puts the Repel on, does it stop the damage? But he'll still be silenced.
I think he just remains silenced. Take the damage. But that's pretty much what the Doom's for, right? The damage is a cool bonus, especially if you got Ags or something. But the truth is, Doom currently is picked up for his Infernal Blade. That Infernal Blade is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous right now. If you get hit by an Infernal Blade, you have to run away. You're going to lose a huge chunk of your health very, very briefly. And especially in the late game, it's one of the best scaling abilities with such a low cooldown.
What is it that makes the Infernal Blade so powerful? If you can explain it to the viewers and maybe to myself that doesn't really know the mechanics behind the Infernal Blade.
So Infernal Blade, first of all, it's going to hit you. It's going to stun you in position. It's going to give a slight bash. It does a big burst damage, and then it also does percentage damage of health. So when you're doing percentage damage of health, as you get later into the game and you got more health, it's actually going to be doing more and more damage to you. So it scales extremely well. It's very good in the laning stage because it's already doing a significant amount of damage. And the supports just can't deal with you because you're a lot faster than them. You're hitting harder than them. They can't trade with you at all. The only thing that Doom lacks is a bit of armor, but as soon as he deals with or confronts that situation, this hero is difficult to destroy. And the biggest problem is if he gets Devour and he gets a Satyr in lane, there's just nothing you can do. Because then he's sitting with about 11 HP regen in lane constantly.
Yeah, that I can see being an absolute big threat. I'm not a big Doom player, but I mean, when you talk numbers like that and the abilities like that, I can see the real effect. So, I mean, both games we didn't really touch on the bans per se. Anything that stands out to you that you want to talk about the bans? I know IO was a bit of a big pick for LeetPro during the week when we managed to cast their game going up against Epoch.
Yeah, just don't let IO through.
Is that pretty much
because if someone has an IO player, you're in trouble. So I think it's almost a must ban every time. And we saw Epoch fell prey to that when we cast them. But other than that, the bans, besides the techies, pretty there's nothing outstanding or out of the ordinary there for me.
Oh my gosh, Skaapie, can I just say that on the stream, Quentin has actually come back and said Techies won TR5. So how can you tell me he's not a hero, damn it?
Techies won TR5. Techies was banned every game in the final.
Because he's such a hero. I mean, why would people waste a ban on him?
Techies was the stupidest thing ever. I'm not saying Techies doesn't win games. I'm saying Techies makes Dota shit. That's the most PMA I can bet this. Techies just makes the game of Dota terrible to play. Quentin, I will find you and I will bet you down and have a long, hard talk to you about why Techies is horrible.
Apparently, you haven't given me the talk yet. All you do is you tell me he's terrible.
I do give you the talk, but you're so stubborn.
I know, you know what? Like when you enjoy techies, you know it's what techies for me is about. It's not about it's about the mind games against your opponent. It's about the mischief you cause around the map, and you can see how players change their playstyle throughout the game on how scared they are to actually come into your side of the map. It's like the map belongs to techies.
Yes.
When there's a techies in the field,
one guy's having fun and 9 people are sitting there like,
love it.
This is terrible.
All right. Back to the game. So, next gets picked up for Goliath Gaming this time around. Does not go to the hands of Chadawi. They pick up the Shadow Fiend there for Muzzy for the side of Goliath. Jump into the side of LeetPro. It is gonna be the PA, kind of a classic combo, the Omni PA.
Yeah,
BKB.
It's pretty good. I'm interested to see how they're gonna lane this. I actually thought it was going to be an off-lane Omni. It could still be an off-lane Omni with just an Earthshaker on the move and the Lion sitting with a PA. So that's, I mean, LeetPro is just drafting. They're just drafting. They're not really trying to bamboozle their opponents. They're just like, we pick A, B, C, D, and like they can prepare themselves as much as they want. This is how we're drafting, and that's how you win Dota as well.
Could this be a mid PA?
Could be a mid PA.
This could trick them a lot, eh? That could actually trick them a lot here because, I mean, our first assumption was that it was a position 1.
Yeah. It's still going to be a position 1 if it does go mid, though. It's going to be priority farm. But, yeah, it can make misery for a Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend doesn't fare too well against that constant harass that a PA does give out. Especially if there's an Earthshaker who can come and block the lane. SF is very susceptible to those sort of things. So we'll see.
Well, Goliath is still banning out mid heroes. They did ban out the TA, so they feel that LeetPro is still looking for a mid. So it may not be a Depi PA, could be an RDK PA. So we'll see how they pan it out. But I do like the fact that PA can actually play in those two positions.
Yeah, let's be honest. That is more of an RDK hero, right? RDK likes these kind of heroes: the Weavers, the Morphlings, the PAs. These sort of things. So it's farm intensive. I do a lot of damage. He farms more efficiently than most people in SA. It's just his hero. I want to see something flashy on Depi because Depi is one of the best performers, I think, in LeetPro as of late. Although everyone's been performing pretty well lately. But Depi's been one of those standouts who's just grown rapidly in the South African scene. So I like to see something flashy on him.
What can we expect to see as their position 1 here for Goliath?
Oh, jeez. It's difficult. And I think they're also bamboozled. They went pretty deep. Leshrac. Wow. Okay. I like it.
Okay. All right. Explain to us how the lane's going to work here.
Yeah, they're going to definitely just have to put probably the Rubik with the Leshrac. Very, very strong combination that Nyx can also rotate in there because you can lift into the crush or lift into the stun from the Nyx into the stun from the Leshrac. A lot of damage. So whoever's in that off lane can die, but you've got Omni, who's more than likely going to be there. So if you're not catching Omni, Omni's going to save whoever else it is. So that's a bit of a tough one for them, but they can maybe secure some farm with that Leshrac, and Leshrac can be a pretty scary hero in that situation.
I feel if he's ahead, Lesh is absolutely ridiculous. Wow, okay, sniper mid.
I think Depi is just gonna. He's playing another game on the second screen. He's playing sniper in this, but sniper is just a great tier in almost every regard. You got a low armor hero like Doom.
You know, it scares me though.
He's gonna have a tough time to get last hits.
I actually find Nyx to be really good against snipers because he can generally get behind those enemy lines and attack snipers from behind. And with him throwing down his shrapnel, we're going to have that carapace that's going to be able to stun him out in the midst of battle, and he's going to be able to stun out sniper for a short duration, but enough to actually perhaps stop and assassinate, or even find the moment to jump onto Depi. So, I mean, Depi's an amazing player. I'm just worried about the Nyx and his carapace.
Yeah, but there's pretty good defensive supports and an offlaner for Depi. Earthshaker fares well there. He's got a lot of lockdown if the Nyx does go on Depi. Omni, if he's in the general vicinity, is good. Lion Heat 2's got a lot of lockdown, a lot of control. So I think Depi's just... The thing is, Depi's just going to make sure that SF gets nothing in that lane. That's his goal. Just make sure that Muzzy gets 0 farm. Muzzy's going to have a hard time trying to find this first few last hits.
Who wins the lane? Sniper or SF? Just Sniper because
In
of his
general?
ability. Yeah, in general.
Yeah, we gotta go with the assumption that there are supports in the game, and the support's gonna help you. Then the SF does well, but he doesn't really, unless the next just comes there and throws out the mana burn, which he actually should do. He should just come mid, throw out mana burn, and try and keep that sniper out of lane. But I don't know. I think SF usually does well there, but I think Deppy just makes his life misery.
All right, well, we'll see how that pans out. So, in good ritual events here in SA Dota, we start off with a pause. So let's take the opportunity to go around and introduce our players once again. For those of you that are just joining us, thanks for popping by. It is going to be LeetPro versus Goliath Gaming. This is going to be game number 2. LeetPro did take game 1 off Goliath in a 23-minute game. Let's see what happens this time around. We do agree that LeetPro has the better draft.
Yes, I definitely think so.
Well, without further ado, let's go around and introduce our players. We've got Mental playing the Nyx Assassin. We've got Jappa playing the Doom Panda 737. Going to be on the Rubik. Cotta going to play the Disco Pony, or better known as the Leshrac. And Muzzy going to be playing the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and then going over to the side of LeetPro, we're going to have Well playing over here on the Lion, ACG over on the Omni Knight, Deppy going to be playing on that Sniper, RDK on the PA, and last but not least, Chidawi going to be playing over here on that Earthshaker.
And that wraps it up. This is going to be an interesting game, to say the least. I feel that Leshrac could be a little bit underwhelmed if she doesn't get the farm that he needs. I think a Lesh playing from behind is a really tough position to play a Lesh, especially when you got some big hitters like Deppy and RDK that just want to throw out that damage.
Yeah, I think the Leshrac can have a bit of a tough time. I actually don't see much opportunity here because you are going up against an Omni Knight. It's going to repel someone, and majority of the damage coming out of a Leshrac is going to be that of magical damage. What else can they really do? I think Doom is great. Doom is probably one of their biggest answers. Japanese have a good lane. They can find a few kills with the Leshrac Rubik combination, maybe with the next rotation. But again, they have to kill ACG. And he's even still going to be a difficult kill at the end of the day.
Well, I do like our players sharing tip for tip. This is rather interesting. Compendium, does Compendium still work in private lobbies?
No, it doesn't. That's why they just use it as that BM. If even in the pro scene, when someone's first blood, they just like BM the other guy, tip him.
Oh, there you go. Muzzy tipping ACG. I'm out of tips. Well, there you have it. Mental does join the party. Jappa tipping Chidawi. Chidawi tipping ACG. Deppy going for the big blow, tipping Chidawi. Chidawi walking away the victors thus far in terms of tips, but the game is underway. And let's see how it pans out. As far did we speak about the laning phase? I feel that I honestly feel that the Disco Pony, the Nyx, and the Rubik need to actually be in the lane together.
Yeah, that's the thing, and then they leave the Doom in a poor situation.
But they maybe put
like
Doom in the safe.
They are going to dual lane Doom and the Nyx, and then they dual lane the Rubik and the Leshrac, which is fine as long as Cotta finds farm. As long as he finds farm, it's fine, because he can still do a lot of significant damage in these team fights. But the same issues just constantly stack up. What are they going to do against an Omni Knight? Is really the question in hand, and it's exactly the lanes as I expected them to be. Nothing out of the ordinary. Well, we're going to be laning up here with the PA. Just secure farm onto RDK. They might want to try and contest. It's a difficult lane for him, to be fair. Nyx as well as Doom don't have a bad time against the PA in general. So the Lion's going to have his hands full in that regard, or the Lion's going to leave and just try and create space elsewhere. And then, yes, they slow down RDK, but then the same thing happens that happened in the last game. So we'll see what they're up to do.
Well, already a little bit of tussle happening here in the top lane. We'll keep our eyes here in the top lane to see what does actually transpire. Whelp getting a two-man stun getting off, although they do manage to pick up the bounty run on RDK. Can Whelp pick up the other bounty as well? And they do. Do they go back here in the bottom lane? Does Chidawi pick up the third bounty run? And LeetPro wins the bounty battle, getting themselves 3 bounty runs, and they can't be too disappointed with that.
No, not at all. They also got Fissure so good at securing bounty runs. That was just, that was a bit awkward, I'd say. But top lane, they're still keeping the chase up here onto RDK. And look how tanky Nyx is. Extremely tanky. Look at that HP regen. Yes, he ate a tango now, but it's at 14.6. 3 mangoes in hand. Pretty tanky hero in general. And that's why I said this lane's not going to be an easy situation for RDK at all.
And with the 3 mangoes, look at his HP regen. Well, I know you did mention it, but it is ridiculous. Mangoes are, like, they're priceless in the early parts of the game.
And they got nerfed, right? They're now down to 0.5.
Oh, wow. Mid lane, Muzzy may actually go down here. Beautiful block off coming out from Chidawi. Depi, can he get one more right click? He's going to have to go up the hill. He's already salving himself up. And, oh, wow, that would have been super disappointing if Goliath lost Muzzy there in the beginning. But beautiful block coming out from Chidawi. That was forcing Muzzy all the way around.
Muzzy gets a extra soul out of that, maybe. But he's having a bad time. He lost his Fairy Fire, he lost his Solve, and his Tree. So that's a lot that he had to exude in that lane. So a bit of an issue there for him. And I think Chidawi is just going to hang around, and Muzzy can't overextend. And you can see exactly what Depi's doing, pulling the creep wave up onto the high ground, forcing Muzzy to try and go down onto the low ground. But unfortunately, Chidawi's not there this time around. But yeah, Muzzy's having a terrible time. He's got 4 souls, which is going to help him a bit. But it's really small victories.
Well, small victories can kind of win you the battle, but Chidawi is actually abandoned the mid lane. Does make his way to the top lane, just taking a look at the bot here, seeing what is transpiring at the moment. And they've just got ACG versus Connor and Panda737. Not doing too bad. Isn't sitting too bad in terms of last hits. He's got 8. Let's jump to the top lane as a little skirmish pops out. But no serious losses.
Yeah, this is difficult for LeetPro to find a kill here. I'm actually quite surprised they're committing so much. Doom hasn't eaten a creep yet. Oh, big stun there from Mental, actually keeping himself alive. The Fissure comes out, but I don't think they have enough. In fact, Chidawi could maybe find himself in some trouble. Good Spike Carapace going to keep RDK away from him for a bit. But look how tanky these 2 heroes are. They can just take all of these spells. And Muzzy gets first blood on Depi.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. There comes the BM from Goliath.
That is huge for him. That means he gets all his souls. That is really big for him. And the one thing that you really were using the sniper for, he is now going to have a very tough time trying to last set up against Muzzy. Muzzy now, I mean, Depi needs a rotation here, and they need to kill Muzzy. They need to get rid of those souls very quickly.
Beautiful rotation does come out from the Rubik. So Panda737 it was essential that they got mid, brought down Depi. They got that right. Now it's time for LeetPro to actually return the favor and see what they can get done here. Chidawi does rock up. He's sitting here on the sidelines. Can Depi bait Muzzy down that hill is the next question. But
Chidawi, so...
telekinesis is there.
Chidawi's in trouble.
Oh, Spike Carapace is going to be good, and he goes down. So the 2 supports here, Mental and Panda, picking up the kill onto Chidawi as well. Goliath looking with a renewed vigor.
Absolutely, this is looking much better for them. The only problem is that the highest CS in the game is actually this off-lane Omni Knight.
ACG having the time of his life.
Yeah. And what a boy! I mean, Jappa finds the kill here onto the Lion, so This lane, I thought this lane was going to be a very big problem for LeetPro, and it's turning out to be so. I mean, PA is struggling to find farm. RDK not having a fantastic time in that regard.
Well,
And
bottom
Carter,
lane.
he'll down.
Yeah, Carter gets taken down. 3-man LeetPro hunting squad. Finds Carter there in the bushes, punishes him, goes down. So, also the boys from LeetPro, they're not giving up without a fight, and they're trying to keep that kill deficit to a minimum. But Goliath is up 1 kill, 3-2, 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, somehow I just switched over to the networks just out of curiosity, and somehow they're still ahead with all their cores. So that's quite impressive. A lot of damage coming out in the mid lane here from Muzzy, but actually it's going to be Mental who's going to find himself in a tight spot, as there is going to be a stun coming out from the line. Do they have enough damage though is really the question. This is a very, very tanky hero. Said that enough, I believe. Ooh.
Oh, good dodge coming out from Chitawi. The shrapnel comes out. Chitawi, he gets sunned out by Whelp, but it's going to be good enough for Panda to actually pick up the kill there onto Chitawi. Whelp hunting him down, assassinates there. There comes the gunshot. Double kill for Deppy, and that is what is needed. They lose the SF. They lose Panda 737, and Deppy tipping Muzzy. Oh,
that's a big problem. Muzzy's going to come back to lane with only 10 souls of the 20 odd that he had. I think he was on full 28. So, man, no, he was actually on 20, so he must have just upgraded that. But yeah, Muzzy is okay. He's gonna find those souls pretty quickly back now, but that definitely doesn't help him at all. He's gonna be set back a little bit. Still does a decent amount of damage though.
I mean, Skaapie, I don't know how many games you've casted, but this tipping. Oh, hang on, hold that thought, because all of a sudden Cotter gonna get surrounded here from the boys of LeetPro. Cotter not gonna be able to make it out of there. Mental coming in just to throw out a stun, not gonna be good enough. Degen or a slowing down Mental, as the 3 players here from LeetPro, Whelp, Dowie, and ACG trying to find the kill onto the next. Mental, can he get the kill? In the meantime, Deppy does pick up a kill onto Muzzy. Another tip going to Muzzy for the outstanding deaths that he performed. They lose Mental eventually, and surrounded there from the boys of LeetPro. So I was going to the point of saying is this new tip system really makes it an interesting way to actually troll your opponent.
Yeah, it is definitely very, very BM.
What a time to be alive.
Lane, actually, Kotz is playing quite aggressively here, and now he might find himself in some trouble. He has a repel coming out. Yes, the physical damage still goes to do that, but a great stun from Mental. Turning things around, and ACG will go down. That's a decent amount of gold. Chadawi should be next, and he will take a full whelp. Ooh, he's a little bit low himself, but there's no more mana really left on Cotter, and his right clicks are not all that fantastic, but there comes the taunt out from Cotter.
Disco, disco, baby.
Yeah. That's good, man. I think Goliath Gaming's laning stages definitely they went back to the drawing board and they got a pretty decent rebuttal here, and I must say I didn't expect this from them, and yeah, it's really good.
Well, I mean, what a time to be alive, hey? Watching players tip one another, all of a sudden kills going left and right.
Top lane. Sorry, Doom was thrown out. No veil. I don't think.
Well,
unless
there's
he walks back.
In the meantime, Whelp fighting out the Rubik. They get the Rubik kill. Doom managing to pick up the kill onto RDK, as the 2 supports actually focus themselves down there onto Panda 737. Now Jappa in a spot of trouble. Whelp gets the stun off. Going to hold him in place. Shadawi gets the totem down. And they're going to pick up the double kill there on Whelp.
All I can say is, whoops, that was a bit of a blunder there from RDK. He made a little bit of a mistake. And there's not much they can do about that.
What I actually wasn't watching. What was the mistake that he did? Because, I mean, getting doomed can't really be a mistake. I mean, someone's going to get doomed.
Yeah, he didn't need to come back, though. He didn't need to get Infernal Bladed. If he didn't get Infernal Bladed, he survived that situation. Sorry about that. I just said something happened.
All good.
But don't worry.
All good.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no, bit of a mistake. The Infernal Blade just secured that kill, and I don't know. He was maybe looking to see if he could maybe assist in some way or another, but I don't think it was all that necessary for him to turn around.
Alright, so it looks like Goliath and LeetPro have survived themselves holding fort though in the mid lane. There comes the beautiful Fisher, actually keeping the side of Goliath at bay, fighting under the tower. Metal going to go down. Yeah, Deppy turns around, gives him a couple of right clicks and he goes down. Assassinate coming out, isn't going to be good enough, takes down himself, takes down Panda 737, and before you know it, a beautiful turnaround coming out for LeetPro.
Well, Whelp will be happy you weren't looking in the top lane though, because he missed the stun onto the Doom as a lion, and it's a targetable ability, so he shouldn't be missing those. Cast it on the ground, obviously, and he missed it by quite a margin, so maybe forgetting that he's not playing Nyx. A bit of a mistake there. But
maybe he's just trying to handicap himself.
Yeah, you know, maybe.
Maybe, potentially. So, before that fight broke out, I actually wanted to ask you, where do these teams go from now? I mean, the previous game, we didn't even have a chance to look at item progressions and things like that. This time around, I'm going to be a little bit more of a proactive clickarooner and try and see what kind of items can we expect out of these heroes. I think the big items we can expect to see for the players on the team is, say, like Muzzy on the SF and Kota. Does he go Blink or does he go Shadow Blade for the Muzzy? Kota, is he just going to go like maybe into Yules as well, or does he go like Bloodstone, Octarine? For the side of LeetPro, RDK, what do you expect to see from him there? And Deppy on the sniper. I mean, what is your item predictions for say, the two top cores or the two big cores for either team?
To be fair, they're making my life a bit easier, but for Lesh, he's going to be going for that Rod of Atos. I think it's really good. They're going to be the lockdown that makes up for what an Eels does as well. He could still potentially go for the Eels a bit later. SF's going for the Eels Blink Dagger, so looking to burst some of these heroes down very quickly is something that they've got to be careful of. And yeah.
Do you agree with these item choices that they're going for? Is maybe a better question.
Yeah, I don't think I see any issues with any of the items. Doom going to be used here in the jungle as gonna go down. Fingers gonna be used onto the Doom though. Big stun though coming in from the Lash rack. Oh wow, that's terrible for them. Whelp also gonna fall. That's 3 kills in their favor. Really, really well played there. All around applause indeed. Muzzy will be very happy with that situation.
And Panda 737 actually keeping his null field in the green as well. Not even opting on the offensive ability there from the Rubik. Still making easy work there from the boys of LeetPro. So big damage coming out from Goliath. I mean, maybe a little bit underestimated there.
Yeah, I think a bit of a mistake. I don't know. I think it's easier to say it's a mistake. They didn't have vision. I think they were trying to get some vision down for themselves. They did, and they just got caught on the retreat. So I think it's wrong for me to say that that was a mistake. It's just one of those things that happen, and it's okay. And I think they thought they could have definitely killed the Doom, but yeah, Doom pretty tanky. He was quite low though. They could have potentially maybe got the kill, but they're gonna find another kill for themselves. It's gonna be Chidawi, so another kill going the way, and they're pulling this net worth back into their favor slowly but surely. The real question is how long does this last? They got Roda Atos up now on the Lesh rack, so they do have some pretty decent catch, especially for the sniper. The shrapnel down now, and Carter's in trouble. He's going to take a lot of damage here.
Oh, well, there's the carapace. Actually slows down the fire from Deppy. He does manage to get it off. ACG rocks up to the party, throws out the kill. They're going to shrine it up. ACG gets himself the repel. Now, Waterboy pops out the Scorcher. There's the Fisher. Guardian Angel going to be used out. The mana drain out to Panda 737. Deppy getting him the kill there onto the Rubik. And now the boys from LeetPro are looking for more. The Assassinate out to Metal. Goes in Viz. Going to be able to get himself out of there. RDK going to try and get the jump onto Muzzy. Pops the Requiem right under the pressure there. But ACG gets the heal off onto RDK immediately. While taking a bit of damage, but he runs out of it. The Death Requiem coming out. Not enough to kill anyone. But now the boys from LeetPro looking at putting a bit of pressure on this tier 1 as they've all congregated around here. They have lost Muzzy. They're TPing in the Rubik as Panda 737 is back. The Doom comes out to Chidawi. Can they get the deny off? They go, Mana Drain's going to be there. No, they don't deny it. They actually decide to actually give the kill to Good old Doom, but Panda737 picks up the kill, getting himself a double, loses the Omni Knight as well. RDK picks up the kill onto Panda737 in the backlines. Deppy realizes that the boys from Goliath want him for breakfast. Dagger comes out, RDK jumps in, assassinates there. Is it going to be enough to bring him down? He's quite an attacking little bugger. Got to the backlines, get the stun off onto Deppy, doing a world of damage. It looks like Deppy may actually go down here. They lose RDK, they lose Deppy, only Whelp surviving. But Chirdawi has popped up to the party again. Does actually have his Earth, his ulti available. So depending if he decides to go in here, all of a sudden Goliath 16 at 14 with the advantage in terms of net worth as well. Goliath seemed to be pulling it back, and all of a sudden putting LeetPro under the cosh here.
Yeah, this was a completely different team to what we saw in game 1. And that's a pretty good show for them. Eels is up now on the Shadow Fiend, so he's going to have that for both aggressive and defensive situations. Yeah, it's looking very good all around. The Leshrak's very, very far. I'm looking for that Bloodstone, in fact, so that's going to be very big on him. And yeah, this is looking a bit problematic for LeetPro. They're falling behind a little bit. They haven't lost too much in the net worth department or fallen too far behind, but this is where the slippery slope can really come into play.
I mean, Lesh getting some big kills there. I mean, I said in the beginning of the game, Lesh fighting from behind is so difficult, but all of a sudden getting himself back into a game. Mental spotting out Chadawi. Muzzy looking to find him. The stun is not going to actually connect, and Chadawi is going to actually get away. Luckily get away.
Yeah. That's the thing. Chadawi, ACG is going to have their pipe up, and that's going to be a very big problem for them, because all that magical damage that the Leshrak is going to be dealing is going to be negated pretty quickly. So they must be a bit vigilant of that as an issue. But other than that, they're still doing well. But this can very, very swing against them. They need to utilize this time and maybe find some objectives, because they've won a couple of fights now, but they're still tier 1 standing all over the map, and they got a Leshrak.
Top lane.
Leshrak's fantastic at taking buildings. Top lane. Ooh.
Top lane, blink out onto Whelp. I think he may have just picked that up. RDK jumping in and almost obliterating Jappa. I mean, that was really quick. They did actually commit the finger as well, but that was a big kill there out onto the Doom. Bot lane though, there comes out the stun. Chadawi, a little bit of pressure, and he's going to go down as well to Kotta. So a kill versus kill going across the board. Things do come out here in the top lane, and I think that is the reveal on the blink on Whelp. I don't know if you saw when he picked it up, or if that was revealed in that
I think
Doom
that's
kill.
the first reveal. They didn't know that's there, but that's very big. That's a fantastic initiator now that they have. The Lions graded it. Yes, the Earthshaker is also pretty good with the Blink Dagger, but the Lions very, very good. Can get an instant sheep, something of that sort. But meanwhile, mid lane, bit of trouble here. Deppy must be a bit careful.
Oh, can he get the deny? No, he can't. The stun is good from Mental. Deppy not actually going down there as well. I was actually keeping an eye on good old ACG to see if he actually went down there, and not being able to deny himself on the creeps. Lex.
Yeah, that's one of those things that happen, and but unfortunate there. And finally, they're going to look for an objective, and this is exactly what they need to do. They do have the glyph. It's going to slow things down a little bit, but this is not easily defendable. Kotta will find that one. So now they've actually taken down both those tier 1 towers that I said were standing, and this is looking a little bit better for them. They need to now maybe potentially find a kill and get a Roshan. That would be big enough, pretty big for them. They did smoke. PA is going to find its way on out.
You know, it's super scary is the fact that RDK hasn't been able to pick up his Battle Fury at the moment. I mean, you'd like that item up and running by around about the 13-minute mark.
Yeah.
It's sitting 19 minutes in, so RDK having a little bit of a tough time.
I think that's a bit of an understatement. Yeah, he did go for the Aquila, we must keep in mind, so that's going to slow it down a bit, but not this much. There's a quite late Battle Fury, but once it is up, he's going to farm very quickly, and he's also going to be dealing some significant damage. He's also got the Repel, so not getting a BKB early is not all that bad. But oh, bot lane, Chadawi. Can he survive? No, but they're actually going to make a good trade there. Chadawi for Muzzy, fantastic trade in their favor, and Chadawi making that possible by, as soon as he dropped, he got his ultimate off, slowed the SF down. SF's timing on his ulti was impeccable there, because if that epicenter landed, big trouble there for him.
Wow. Well, that was happening. I was actually keeping my eye on the mid lane, and they actually lost Whelp as well on the line. So that was a little bit of a problem. Oh, but double damage over here. Mental managing to pick that up. That's going to be a nice little gank if they can actually spot out a hero. Deppy's starting to resemble something that is quite scary.
Yeah, he's attacking fast. He's not really dealing damage per se yet. We could see he put his Master Madness on, was hitting the Doom, and it wasn't phasing the Doom all that much. Again, Doom does have low armor, but he does have high regen, so he's staying alive. But that's only for now. But meanwhile, PA very dead.
Yeah.
Nothing they can do. And that's the thing, Doom, if you hanging around alone, a Doom walks up to you, you can just drop the Doom on your Infernal Blade, and you're more than likely dead if you don't have a support there very quickly to deny you. You're in trouble.
And the fact that they've actually got two Invis heroes on the side of Goliath, the Nyx and the Shadow Bladed up Doom, you would expect to at least have some form of sentry in this region here. I don't know if you can see, but this whole part of the jungle is where the sniper is at the moment. This is so open to attack, and that should have never happened. ODK should have never been brought down there just for the lack of vision.
Yeah, that's quite true. Vision game is definitely favoring their opposition. They do have deep wards, and then one top lane as a sort of a maybe jungle defensive ward, but it hasn't really been helping them. There's been some pretty good smokes. Another kill there for the Leshrac. And quite deep, in fact, for that kill, and he's got Bloodstone up now, so these kills are counting quite a lot in their favor. And they're going to find an objective, and this is exactly what they need to be doing. Converting these kills into objectives, and then looking to try and close this game out as quick as they can. Because as soon as PA starts getting a bit more farm, it's going straight for the BKB, so not actually going to have much damage for quite some time. And that's something that they can maybe take advantage of.
Well, there comes out the spike over. It's going to slow down Deppy for the moment. Kotze going to get right-clicked out here, but Deppy gets the denial. Whelp jumps in, blinks it, sheeps out. Good old Mental, he goes down. Rubik goes down as well. So LeetPro not taking it, lying down, and they fight back, getting 2 kills off that little bit of a push there. And deny coming out from Kotze. He's back alive. He's now down to 10 Bloodstone charges. Makes him a little bit weaker, but still nonetheless, Defender Axe and boys from LeetPro may be down in terms of net worth, may be down in terms of kills, but make easy work for the side of Goliath at the moment.
Yeah, they just overstayed their welcome there. This is, oh dear, Muzzy.
Oh, where's the tip? Where's the tip banter? The tip
Someone
banter?
tip him. Can I tip him?
I
can't tip him.
Oh, that would have been. I think that would have actually pushed him over the line. Yeah, he yells the creep.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful, DOTA.
It happens. You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. So.
Oh, but Jappa trying to find it. The sentry goes down. They saw that happen and they dropped down another one. That sentry being alive just saved Deppy's life.
Yeah.
And it times
that's
out
the thing.
after that.
Doom is just getting a lot of solo kills, so they have a bit of a problem with that. And Shadowblade up on him. He's had it for quite some time. What's actually flying out to him currently?
Oh, they do know that Mental is in the vicinity. Korea in a little bit of a spot of trouble, yeah? Mental kind of smells something's up, and I think he knows that they're around there, that they actually had vision on him.
Yeah.
His vendettas off cooldown, so he needs to wait before he can get out there. He doesn't have a TP. Pigs do come out, but there's the finger out on Super 737. Can they close the gap? Fishes there while picking up the kill. Carry Lion, baby. Carry Lion.
Pretty much a solo kill there for him. Lion's just so good once he's got Blink Tag up. Can just get a huge amount of burst damage, find some more gold for himself. He can sustain himself with the wards and so on. So that creates a bit of space for the Earthshaker to try and find a Blink Dagger, which is still taking quite some time. It's not exactly what Shadawi would have liked. He is still actually seems to be purchasing all the wards and so on.
I'd love to know what's going on in the LeetPro team chat, because Deppy is also going for BKB as well. So, I mean, you do have an Omni Knight on your team. You've got that free repel, but I suppose it's like, okay, everybody gets BKB.
Yeah.
Everyone that can get BKB, get BKB. I'm sure that is what the command is.
Yeah, definitely. I think BKB is an absolute necessity. You have Repel, but Repel can only do that much. Leshrak's doing AoE damage. SF's doing AoE damage. The stuns coming out from the Nyx have been really on point. I think Mental's been playing fantastic. Oh, they actually scouted me up.
Who we focusing on? The Kotta Japa duo, yeah.
Yeah, but
there's the right. Oh, doesn't actually manage to get the split off, but there's the Eternal Blade. Blade Mail be popped out. Root be used out at Chadawi. Easy, relatively, well, not relatively easy. That was a really easy kill, actually.
Yeah. BKB's up now for RDK, so he has that. Now he can look at putting up a damage item, finally. But he's still dealing at least some significant damage with the Battle Fury, so it's not the end of the world that he went this route. He actually needed to go this route. The lockdown is just too much for him to handle.
And as a PA, you want to be blinking around in team fights. You want to be jumping around, getting that damage off, throw out the dagger, getting the blinks. And that's not going to happen when you stand out.
Oh, bot lane.
Well, Walp in the thick of it, but RDK jumps in, obliterates Connor. Unbelievable mental goes down. Two massive crits coming out from RDK. And that is... This PA, never count out a PA, Skaapie, never.
Yeah. Coup de Grace, man. Coup de Grace level 3 is just so insane. 450% damage.
Yeah, that
when you're on like level 18, your stats are so high. It's really good. People underestimate how that ability actually scales. So.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't underestimate the PA for nothing.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm sure it kills a lot of techies. The techies killer.
Copy? Flip you.
I know. Mid lane though. They're looking for a kill here on ACG. They actually go straight with the Doom. He's in a lot of trouble here. Vision's going to come out, but there's a BKB up on Muzzy, and they should be able to just close that one out. ACG will fall.
Do you think this calls for
they just go straight for the tier 2 tower. They realize a lot of them are on the top. They're working a bit aggressively here. Could find themselves in a tight spot.
Well, RDK going to find out Jap, and the stun comes in. They're going to take down Walp rather easily. RDK jumps in, pops out BKB. They're going to find the kill onto Shadawi as well. BKB's coming out. RDK obliterates the next assassin. In the meantime, in the backline, Spanda goes down. Jappa the next to go down. Deppy gets the Hurricane Pike off, but it's not going to be enough. There's a lot of illusions in the vicinity. The Yule's being used out onto the PA. RDK not going to be able to survive that, and Muzzy picking himself up a triple kill. And that
one hero on the map.
And that is a beautiful symphony of skills.
Yeah, that was a fight. That's a team fight that I want to see. One hero must survive. Yeah, yes, the Omni was actually out of that well before the fight, so it was a 4-for-4 trade actually in the jungle there. But man, Muzzy doing pretty well to stay alive then. ACG, ACG baiting. He baited so well there. You really expected SF to try and go for that third raise, and then you realize, oh, they are baiting me. And
oh my gosh, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna actually put in my list of casted games, best bantered game ever.
Best banter game ever.
Yeah,
I've seen some rough ones. You know the what? Have you ever cast a game where the two teams actually get super toxic with each other?
No, I must be honest.
Pure entertainment. Purest form of entertainment I've ever experienced in my life.
I did actually manage to watch. I don't know if you ever remember when Panda 737 actually got DC'd playing an Ember Spirit, and he had a Divine Rapier, and the team killed him while he was DC'd. That was a hectic game. Or Mental spots out this rush attempt. This is going to actually call Goliath to actually approach. They drop down the sentry. They do know Did they know Mental was in the vicinity? We're going to keep an eye on that that vision.
Oh boy, they're not doing anything about this. It's over.
Wow, okay. So Rush is done. Goliath didn't react. And they're going to actually get away with a free Rush.
Yeah, not having the SF, that was the biggest problem for them. If they had the SF there, I think they would have committed. But now that Roche is in their hands, they gonna feel a bit more confident pushing down a lane, and they're going straight down mid. And Deppy's already just beating away at this this impossible tower right now, even with his Mask Madness. So the Mask Madness is on cooldown.
It's like punching a punching bag. Just testing your powers.
Man, but the building goes down super quick at this stage of the game.
Mental still trying to see if he can find himself a kill here. RDK blinks down to us, ACG. They want to try and find another kill here to Muzzy the sidelines. Got to cheat out. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Glimmer Cape. Good guess coming out from Muzzy. That was a headshot. And now Japper in a little bit of trouble here, getting brought down there from RDK. Fuels being used out to Muzzy. Can he survive? Requiem not going to be good enough. Not going to be able to complete that. While in the meantime, Deppy trying to find the killer to Japper. Blade Mail always bringing down Deppy, but Clash Shield coming in from ACG. That Blade Mail almost took down Deppy.
That Blade Mail was so close to killing him. If it wasn't the heal from ACG, he actually would have died there. So, but he has Aegis, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Actually, it would have been pretty bad because they want to secure
the high ground
tower at least.
Yeah, I thought it was. Well, Strap was down. RDK sitting in the front lines has actually got the repel up. Banner 737 throws out the shrapnel. And this may actually just slowly stop their siege on the high ground. They have lost Japper, they have lost Muzzy. So they have got 3 heroes available for Goliath. The question is, can they make something happen here?
Yeah, well, Mental, he's playing a bit aggressively here. They don't have a sentry in hand. Do they actually have a gem? Gem's actually flying out right now as I speak. But maybe gonna bring down the Aegis? Maybe? No?
ACG?
He still walks away with this one. And that's all she wrote for now. And that's a tier 3 tower. That means shrines. That means they've lost a lot of control of the map. They can't TP in deep. They can't come from the back. They're going to struggle to contest Roshan from now on. It's just so many bad things when this happens, as soon as that does happen. So, bit of a concern here for any Goliath. But they've definitely upped their game from game 1. Game 1, it looked
absolutely
a very poor show. But this time around, looking much better by them.
Although XP is telling us quite a story, sitting in favor of LeetPro actually. So I'm expecting the game to actually start teetering a lot in favor of LeetPro. The net worth is almost negligible, but the experience, just have a look at that, Skaapie.
Yeah, I saw that. Significant. And that's also because they haven't constantly been sitting together. If you look at their opponents, they've been sitting together quite snug quite some time, and it's worked out for them. But as soon as you start to lose team fights, you have a bit of a problem, as this is a very dead Nyx. Wow, he got cut down so quickly. They do have the gem, of course, on the Lion, so we can't underestimate that. Japper needs to be a bit careful here in those situations.
Well, the charge is to come up top. And Kota BKP is up. They're going to actually keep ACG in vicinity. But RDK trying to find the killer. Is it going to be enough? It's not. He gets out. The Blink Fort comes in from Yelp. The Glimmer Cape is not going to keep him alive. They do lose Panda 737. And the rest of the boys from Goliath just bail and get themselves out of there. Kota, I don't know how he survived.
Here's one of the things, and for anyone who's watching, because I know people are so reluctant to buy gems in games. That gem purchase has turned this game on its head, and the fact that the opposition haven't purchased the gem is going to make their life misery, because it's easy dewarding. You're going to limit all the vision. They now haven't lost their shrines, but if they do lose their shrines, that's also another factor. Just the gem purchase by Welp has changed the game. He does jump in quite aggressively here, so must be a bit careful of this one. Does look himself one out, but they trade out the Kota. Doom does get BKB off. He's looking for a little bit more. Doom is down, however, onto ACG. That means he can't get that Guardian Angel down. He might even die for this one. Can he get maybe denied? He survives, in fact, for just long enough, but a kill going in the way of RDK finds himself a triple.
Oh, wow.
We'll find, Deppy will find the other. Man, I really thought ACG was going to be a goner there, but he actually survives by the brink or the skin of his teeth, and that's going to be a lane of racks, and maybe more.
This could very well be GG. One buyback available, only Muzzy available. They're trying to make the jump. There comes a Requiem. Cancels it. RDK has actually been repelled out. I don't think Goliath have enough to actually stop this. Middle lane of Rex is down. Do they look for more? Do they start pressuring? Only Muzzy alive. Connor's going to be back soon. Pretty much all of them except for Jappa. I mean, that's super unfortunate. But when you so far ahead in terms of net worth, experience, like Goliath was, Muzzy, I don't know what Muzzy's up to, but he's in a potentially a big, serious amount of trouble. Muzzy goes down. This could actually now be very well GG. Muzzy could have just lost in the game by going in here. They do get the kill onto Whelp. They get the return kill. Rod of Atos is down onto the PA. RDK can't do anything. There comes the big ult from the ES. But Kota picking up a kill. Can he take down Chadawi? And Mental Kota saved the day. If that had gone the other way around, that would have very well been GG there.
Yeah, Mental got gem out of that. That's fantastic for him. They can actually turn this one around. They only lost one set of racks.
Oh, BKB out onto Kota. BKB. Oh, this is going to be enough. He's trying to cut him out. And, okay, maybe now it could be a GG. Deppy doing a huge amount of damage. Jeez.
Yeah.
M.
Underestimating the sniper at this stage of the game, and that's a bit of an issue. Now sniper can really just look onto the high ground. 125 extra attack range has been added. He can really stand super far back and just say, okay, we got that tier 2 tower, we're going to take another tier 3 and pray another lane of racks. And that was a problem. They did take that mid racks and they were tier 2 still up, so they couldn't just go and take any more racks. So they actually started beating up at the tier 4s, but there was no way they were going to finish that one up.
Telekinesis being used out onto Deppy, has actually been used the repel out onto Deppy. Deppy focuses down Connor. Connor does BKB, but it's not going to help when you're clicking him down. And we do get Deppy taken down 737. Mental goes down as well. Deppy shooting like an absolute man on fire. Do we just call him Denzel? We're going to call Deppy Denzel.
That's a good movie.
I know it's a good movie.
I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Deppy throwing out the shrapnel, just trying to focus Muzzy and Panda. Deppy aggressively forces himself forward, trying to get the kill into Panda. He does get glimmered, but Jappa coming in from behind. There's the Doom. Knocker, he's going to just smile and wave in terms of that damage. And beautiful block coming out from Chadawi. Is going to be enough too. Oh, the heal's coming out. Chadawi wants to deny him. Oh, it's not going to happen! Chadawi! Oh my god! And it was the enchant totem damage as well.
Oh man, Chadawi.
Oh wow, that like I can't even continue. Oh wow, Carapace comes out and can't stand against RDK. Goliath in a little bit of trouble here, 2 lanes down. I think the biggest thing was Chadawi trying to kill Deppy.
Yeah. I don't have enough kills, dude. Let me get this one.
let me deny you. I got a plan. While jumping forward, immediately gets mana drained out. Can't do anything behind that. Chadawi blocks out the next. There comes out the Ethel Blade onto ACG. He can't do anything, but RDK does clean out Muzzy. Deppy getting the kill onto next, and now 2 lanes are open. Looking to put a pressure in the bot lane. Kota, the only man standing, and the call may be to just jump into the tier 4s and start knocking down the throne. Deppy right clicking down Kota. Kota trying to TP somewhere. He's going to make it out, TPing to the shrine just so that he can survive. Pulls out the wild blade, and RDK picks up himself the Abyssal. Panda tipping Kota, his own teammate. Jappa can't do much. He's sitting in Viz, and I think the I thought they were going to actually troll.
RDK didn't get hit by a Guardian Angel.
And I think that's pretty much GG. They have called it. And the second game is going to go in favor of LeetPro. So there you have it. LeetPro taking the series 2-0, where this game looked like it could have gone either way at one point.
Yeah, to be fair, much better performance coming out from Goliath Gaming. They really held their own here, but LeetPro just know how to close games out, and that's the biggest difference. And it's something that Goliath Gaming will get eventually, but right now LeetPro, they are top dogs, I feel, right now. So we'll see who's going to even compete against them at this current stage is really the question.
Well, stay tuned, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more data that we can answer that question there of Skaapie, because he tends to ask the intelligent questions.
Yes, I do.
Like,
but yeah.
Why is Techie such a good hero?
No one asked that question. No one in the world asked that question on purpose.
All right, well, ladies and gents, we thank you for joining in. Sorry if I was off my game. Got a little bit of the flu. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm all blocked up, but it was a fun game to cast nonetheless. I think the play that made the night was Chitawi trying to kill Deppy while doomed out. That was a very funny moment, but regardless, we thank you for joining us. This has been a LeetPro vs Goliath Gaming game. This was a VS Gaming Masters Leg 3 series, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you a lot more games in the upcoming future. Skaapie, thank you very much for joining me once again on in the series. I hope you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I always enjoy casting with you.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Always, Jabba. Always. Anytime. And I hope everyone has a fantastic evening and don't freeze to death. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Good night and God bless.